Hey everyone, welcome back to Ishkak's Picks. If you love deep dives into shows like Squid Game, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Now, let's jump right into the recap and breakdown of Squid Game's Season 3. Not long after Jihan's big failure, Season 3 kicks off with the first episode. The last count showed 35 players lost, leaving 60 still in the game. On top of that, 12 pink guards and 8 supervisors were killed too, because things get so intense with the games and the frontman, the pink guards, carry player 456 coffin back to the burial site. He's so crushed and thinks it's his fault that they lost, so he begs them to end his suffering too. But obviously, they don't listen and he's locked up when not involved in the games. Daeho, player 388, had the weapons but was too scared to help the other players who were revolting. At first, Jihan thinks Daeho is crazy, but soon Jihan himself becomes a serious threat just by staring down Daeho. Jung-ji's acting shines here, showing every emotion, especially anger, just with his face. Truly outstanding. Next up is a twisted version of hide and seek. Quick side note, this show is brutal. The rebels' bodies are left hanging out for the other players to see as they walk to the arena. Definitely not your regular kids game. Before the game starts, players pick a color from a gumball machine, red or blue, which decides their team. The blue team hides while the red team hunts them down. The red team has 30 minutes to find and kill at least one blue player. The blue players get keys to open doors, and the red players get knives. Interesting. That's why this episode is called Keys and Knives. The red team can't attack each other, and players can switch teams before the game begins if they want. Daeho tries but can't find anyone to swap with, and ends up on blue, right? To make things worse, Jihan draws red, which only adds to Daeho's troubles. One funny moment is when player 100, an old guy named Jung Dae, tries to switch teams by asking player 456. His boldness and appearance crack me up. But then, player 124 teaming up with player 333 felt ominous. Something bad is definitely brewing. Meanwhile, Miyagi tells Jan-hee to hide and promises she'll come find her later. We'll have to see if she actually follows through. No one should look up to Namju, especially with Miyangi's shady morals. Towards the end of the episode, Jihan, knife in hand, angrily says, "It's your fault." The red team is now on the offensive, and player 456 has to be extra careful because he's a clear target. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, but we start with Noel, the pink guard. There's still hope for player 246, Gang-suk. As we saw in Season 2, Noel carefully aims to wound but not kill, pretending to help him by faking his death before scanning him to finish him off. She betrays the organ traffickers. The only one she spares is the doctor who treats Gang-suk. Captain Park turns out to be an agent for the front man. Detective Hong, Jan-hoo, and Mr. Choi get news that the drone operator has died, and they are hunting for a second drone to find the island where the games happen. The front man tells them to keep trying and kill everyone if necessary, including the police captain. While the crew takes to the skies again, Mr. Choi stays back to investigate. Episode 2, titled The Starry Night, centers on that brutal hide-and-seek game. Players split into red and blue teams, with a red team armed with knives. The episode delivers shocking deaths, including Hunu sacrificing herself for her friends, and Young dying after his mother tries to save him. The arena looks amazing, claustrophobic, maze-like, and surreal, with an MC chair vibe. Blue players must find keys to escape, which forces them to work together and raises the stakes big time. Jihan, who we expected to rise above it all, gives in to his darker side and kills Daeho in a fierce fight. This episode really digs into survival and morality, people pushed to their limits, making impossible choices. We also see the deaths of Seon Nayu, the shaman, and a subplot about Nu protecting Gang-suk. Episode 3 Titled "It's Not Your Fault" is all about emotional weight and tough decisions. The players vote whether to quit the game for a big cash prize, and Jihan becomes the voice of reason, begging players to quit, especially for Jan-hee and her baby. His plea is powerful and shows his caring side. After that, Jihan remembers why he's there and promises to protect Jan-hee and her baby. But then, shockingly, Jin-ja kills herself, stunning everyone and adding to the emotional depth. The episode also introduces the jump rope game, a cruel challenge where Minuto's harshness leads to Samju's death. It ends on a tense cliffhanger with Jihan helping Jan-hee and the baby, and a player pushing another into a pit. Definitely leaves you wanting more. The VIPs play a big role here. Since the games are for their entertainment, they have a symbolic purpose but come off as a bit cartoonish, with a stiff English and odd behavior. Kang Aim's monologues stand out as far more real and powerful than the VIP's awkward scenes. Meanwhile, Rebel Guard, No, prepares to leave the island with Gong-suk, whose life she saved. Despite how serious it all is, No warns her boss that she might make things difficult now that the VIPs have arrived. She begs and threatens to escape on a boat with Gong-suk. We also catch up on Jun-hoo's hunt for the island where the games happen. After a long search, he finally finds the spot where the front man shot him at the end of Season 1, so the island has to be closed. Captain Park tries to throw Jan-hoo off the trail while still working for the front man. Jan-hoo's being chased on the mainland by Wok, who breaks into Park's rundown shack, encounters a vicious dog and a silent alarm. Police arrive soon after, and Wok discovers a link between Captain Park and the Squid Games. And episode 4, titled 222, features a brutal jump rope game similar to the glass bridge from Season 1. Players face deadly consequences if their timing is off. The episode shows how ruthless players can get, even pushing others off to survive. This episode also sees the death of Jan-hee, one of the last characters we really root for, adding a dark tune. Jihan faces a moral test when the front man offers him a deal: kill the others, save the baby, and win the prize. This forces Jihan into a tough spot. The frontman's motivations come into focus, revealing shame and a desire to corrupt Jihan. Subplots with Jan-hoo's investigation and Noel's inner conflict hint at possible betrayals and alliances that could change the game's outcome. The VIPs continue to disappoint with awkward acting and a stiff dialogue, pulling focus away from the main story. This episode sets the stage for the final game with a shocking twist. The show dives deeper into moral gray areas with another deadly game. Jihan gets a dagger and is told to kill the others, but his good heart won't let him. Flashbacks reveal the frontman was once a Squid Game winner who took the same offer. The frontman watches Jihan's different choice and realizes not everyone is as broken as he is. Rebel Guard No confronts the frontman to erase Gong-suk's records, leading to a tense fight where No wins in a satisfying turnaround. The final Squid Game focuses on players pushing each other off towers shaped like squares, triangles, and circles to move forward, and the game was called Sky's Squid Game. Survivors split the prize. In this game shows how far people will betray each other, mirroring the VIP's own twisted views. We get to know the lost players, the cruel player 203, the scared player 039, and the pragmatic players 353 and 336. They gang up on the vulnerable Minsu and Mangi, the baby's father. At first, Mangi hesitates to protect his child, but eventually he reveals a ruthless side by killing player 100 to increase the prize money. Jihan remains in the last round, along with Mangi and the baby. He reaches the final tower. Even though Mangi begs him to hand over the baby, Jihan refuses, fearing Mangi would kill the baby. Mangi meets his end here. There is no sacrifice for the final tower because neither man pushes the button to start the round. Jihan faces a horrible choice: kill the baby, and live or die so the baby can survive. He chooses to die, surprising the VIPs. He holds the baby and stares down the VIPs and us, who watch disinterestedly from their viewing room. Then he gently lays the baby down, looks at us, and says, "We are not horses, we are humans." In that moment, he reminds us that we are all human. Player 456. The player meant to represent the audience dies by sacrificing himself for the baby. Jihan's choice shows he values every life, no matter how weak, and refuses to follow the cruel rules made by the VIPs. The front man is deeply shaken by Jihan's decision after trying for 2 seasons to convince him that saving lives isn't worth it. Shortly after Jihan's sacrifice, Jan-Hoo arrives on the island with the Korean Coast Guard, rescuing player 246 from the Pink Guards chasing him. Jan-Hoo had sent them there. When the Coast Guard shows up, In-ho orders the island to be evacuated and starts a 30-minute countdown to destroy the facility, wiping out the evidence, Meanwhile, Jan-Hoo searches for his brother on the island. He enters the VIP watch room just as In-ho reaches the top of a tower to get the baby, whose real name is player 222 and the game's winner. Jan-Hoo fires at the glass barrier between the VIPs and the field, catching In-ho's attention. Jan-Hoo aims at his brother but doesn't shoot. Instead, he shouts, "Why did you do it?" Without waiting for an answer, In-ho just looks away and leaves. 6 months later, Jan-Hoo returns home with Jan-Hee's baby and the prize money. It seems In-ho left them there. Maybe he wants his brother to be happy, even if he won't say it. The frontman is last seen driving away after delivering Jihan's prize to his daughter. He stops to check out some suspicious noises nearby. The recruiter, played by Kate Blanchett, makes an appearance and quickly gets back to work after acknowledging the frontman. The story hints that the games might soon start in the US, for probably Season 4. Season 1 already showed players come from all over the world, and Deadline recently, reported that David Fincher will direct an English version of Squid Game. The opening scene of Squid Game America might even be the same as the Season 3 finale. If you want more breakdowns like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Hitchcock's Picks. This is Dave. Catch you next time.